What's up, everybody? This is the host of M Talk, the Millennial Show, Vincent Ellis White, aka Vinny Blanco. You gotta follow me. You have to follow me, Vincent Ellis White, on everything. Make sure you follow me, the kid. And I got my wonderful co-host.
Yes,
Let them know
sir.
who you are.
Yes, sir. This is your boy, Kwaku Timmons. You can follow me as well. And I'm Pastor Mike.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is Velma. Please do follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Yes, thanks for joining us tonight.
Listen, and if you really love what we're doing here, make sure to go on your Facebook. Put the sandwiches down. Go on your Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, M Lifestyle. You can follow us on Instagram, M Talk Podcast on Instagram. Also, make sure you follow M Lifestyle Org on Instagram. Follow our host, Vincent Ellis White, on Instagram. Follow Velma Hairston, Love One Love, LUV1, LUV on Instagram. And follow me, 1 Timmons _ scholar on Instagram.
All right, we're celebrating the young, the brave, and the influential in lifestyle,
Yes.
baby. So today's agenda, I know y'all been missing us. Today's agenda, we're gonna touch on the Golden Globes. We're gonna touch on Obama's farewell address. We're gonna touch on Trump's press conference. Yeah, we're gonna touch on the hate crime that happened against that disabled man. They trying to say it's Black Lives Matter related. Y'all already know. We're gonna discuss that. We're gonna discuss the determination of the black woman. Yes. And lastly, real quick, how well do you know your host? I think you're following us, but do you really know us? Okay, we're gonna touch on that later on.
So today's show is brought to you by the good people at afrodoc.com. That's AFRODOCK.com. It's an amazing online store that houses authentic African fashion pieces such as print mini and maxi skirts, wrist, ankle, and body beads, unique print bow ties and pocket share combos, dashikis, and much more. So currently they have new arrivals, so visit them at afrodoc.com.
Did anybody see the Golden Globes? And if you didn't, did you see any clips on social media? Talk to us. How did you feel when you saw it?
I saw the clips. I was mainly looking for fashion. Like, I was just wanting to see what everybody had on.
I didn't watch the Golden Globes, but I'm really happy that the movie Moonlight, it won an award and won a Golden Globe, and it was well deserved. I love the fact that a lot of different types of black film and independent film are getting that notoriety. So I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, and just correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was Donald Glover from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
He won. Tracy Ellis Ross won for Blackish. Everybody was excited about that. Viola Davis.
Yeah, and Fences.
Fences.
Yeah. Did y'all see Fences?
Yeah.
I saw clips and I was impressed with what I saw.
Listen, I took my son to see Fences, and Fences was amazing. You already know how Denzel get down, you know how Viola Davis get down, but them together, like, that joint was amazing. Tears in the movie theater. My son was getting his doses that he needed. I'm looking at him like, yeah, your daddy. You already know, because it was about fatherhood all the way. But that movie was amazing. So I'm glad to see Viola Davis got some love. In the Golden Globes, I went back and I looked online. We don't get a lot of love.
Yeah.
And they was talking about. So first of all, I'm gonna get y'all thoughts on Obama's farewell address. But then I like Velma sent me an article in Atlanta Star talking about. Well, I'll let you explain. Go ahead, talk about the article.
Yeah, no, it was kind of, so the title of the article is, here's what President Obama should say directly to the black community in his farewell address. So, of course, you know, we have the Obama, he sets a really good image for black America, and Michelle Obama's by his side. You know, she's a very strong black woman, and she's
That's my baby.
Yeah, she's really helped to, you know, paint a beautiful picture of what it means to be a black woman in this society, and to really just work hard and be a part of be a major part of the family.
I feel like you got a butt in there. Here we go.
Yeah, so there is a but, because you know, a lot of people I've heard talk to a few of my friends, and I just have developed my own perspective just looking at what Obama's done while he's in office. And so this article is basically just saying some things like some apologies, that if he could apologize to the black community, a few things would be for supporting Hillary Clinton, you know, because some of the things that she's done and what her husband has done in the past, as far as the crime bill and just mass incarceration, you know, their influence in that world is really big. But not only that, just apologizing for not specifically targeting, it says not specifically targeting any major piece of legislation to help support the Black community. So he's done things for the LGBTQ community. He ended Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and he's done, you know, things for other folks, but it seems like
it's just, I have a few views on this. First of all, I think, take offense to this if you will. A lot of African Americans have a very naive view on the scope of the presidency.
Talk to him.
When you become an elected official in this country, especially being the president, and you even have to go to the president, let's look at someone like LeVar Stoney here in Richmond.
Yeah.
His constituency is not just Black people in Richmond.
You can't just come out and say, I'm pro-Black, let's get it. You gonna be impeached and already, get shot, everything. You can't do that.
Right.
You have to look at Barack Obama and the magnitude of what he took on. Now, with that being said, he did make some very overt concessions for many marginalized groups. So if people want to make that argument that, well, he supported the LGBTQ community, he supported a lot of legislation that helped Hispanics and a lot of these other groups more overtly than African Americans, I can understand that.
But people kill me. People, I mean, and I don't think they, like you said it perfectly, I don't think they understand his position. You can't, even if you're Black, you can't come in and say, what's up, Black power, I got this. I'm going to take care of all your issues. Y'all flood me with your issues and I got this. Because you're not going to last in there. Like this man, and also you have to look at on a world scale, like we're not just for Black people here. I'm sorry. I love the man. We know he Black. Millions of people voted for him because he Black. Let's be real. But also,
and that alone.
But also the brother still looked out for us. People act like he didn't do nothing for Black people. I mean, and people like they want to find they nitpick. I don't like nitpickers. Like Barack Obama, you can have your certain issues with him, and you can have issues with every president. But the man did his thing in his presidency. Like you said, I mean, just unemployment percentage going down. We could go through statistics, but how did he inspire you?
Obama, this is my opinion, in my lifetime, in my short period on this earth, he is the best president I've seen.
Talk to him, please.
I respect Barack Obama. I think he's the epitome of eloquence. I think he's a gentleman. I think he's extremely intelligent. You're talking about a guy that was the president of the Harvard, was the Harvard Journal? Law Review.
Yeah.
Brilliant man, and then on top of that, you have a brilliant wife. Michelle Obama is a lawyer.
Look at these people. Now, Trump just had a press conference, and it was like right after Obama's farewell address. Now, whether I don't know if you saw it or not, so let them know if you saw it or not. But I know you saw clips because they've been floated all over Facebook. How did you feel after hearing Obama's farewell address, classy, elegant, and then Trump come through with the press conference? Talk to the people.
See, I actually did not see the press conference. So I've heard that he said some controversial things. You know, I'm not exactly sure what he said, but just to kind of relate it to Donald Trump, we've seen that through his campaign, it's not out of the ordinary for him to be uncouth. It's not out of the ordinary. It's not out of the ordinary for him to be bigoted, for him to be a sexist. So anything this egomaniac says would not surprise me. So if he said that, you know, he did drugs before he came on the microphone, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nothing the man says surprises
he doesn't care.
But what he did, and Velma, you can help me out. What he did was there was a CNN reporter right in the front, and they started asking him questions, and he just shut them down. And I mean, shut them down like in a rude manner, like, no, you're not gonna ask me anything. They're like, yes, I'm gonna give one question. No, you're fake news. This is CNN, who nobody thinks they're fake news. It'd be different if they said Fox or something, but they went back and forth for a few. They went back and forth for like 2-3 minutes, and he's screaming at them like a child.
But what does it say that we have a president that doesn't even support our First Amendment right to freedom of speech?
Right.
That's scary to me.
And it's like, you know, I have people that will say, oh, well, he's a businessman. He's about his money, so we need to step up to that plate. But he doesn't know how to talk to people. He doesn't know how to communicate with people and just, respect that you are different. And I feel like he probably had a lot of things, handed down to him. Like you said, he's
millions of dollars.
How can you really relate to this guy? Because for one thing, he's so defensive.
Yes. Did you hear about the hate crime that happened?
Yes.
So, and it was we're talking about the hate crime. You know the whole story?
Yeah.
Okay.
This hate crime had occurred in Chicago.
Yeah.
And what happened is that you have 4 teenagers. They took African American teenagers, and they took a young man. Now I read that he had like some type of mental illness or disability, and they kidnapped him, they duct taped him, they kicked on him, they abused this guy, and this was done so-called, from what I could gather on the video, it was done in the name of some type of pseudo revolutionary thing of like, we're gonna, and it was saying explicatives and F Donald Trump, and then they try to connect it to the Black Lives Matter movement.
Before you go on, break down pseudo revolutionary.
Oh, just fake, fake actions. They don't know.
Gotcha.
I believe the police chief of Chicago, he came up and he tried to speak in their defense, saying, these are just kids and it was horrible what they did, but these are teenagers, these very young children, and they're not really thinking about what they're doing.
I don't agree.
I can see that, but at the same time, I've been 14.
Is that teenagers?
They were teenagers, I think like between 14 and 18.
Okay, go ahead.
I never had the urge to kidnap somebody and assault them.
But they didn't even declare the hate crime right away, and it's clearly a hate crime, and I'm glad they're getting everything that's coming to them. Karma whipped their behinds.
Well, let me put this out there. First, I want to say that, if we have any listeners in Chicago, you can find very good examples of how you protest, Donald Trump being elected. If you want to do things in your community that are far more practical and nobody has to get hurt, you don't have to get arrested. So it's a lot of examples, but I want to put this out there. Have y'all heard that people are suggesting that these people get the death penalty?
Yeah.
So I want to transition for a minute to the determination of the Black woman. Velma, I feel like we need to be all over this. But M Lifestyle, you got to follow M Lifestyle.org on IG. We posted a picture of a white man kind of in his starting position ready to run, and then a Black woman in her starting position ready to run. They're trying to get to the finish line, and the white man had pretty much a straight path to the finish line. The Black woman had a chain on her ankle. She had thorns, a stick of briars, and hurdles she had to get over. And the white man was basically saying, "What are you complaining about? We got the same distance." Him and his people probably put them obstacles there, and then when you put them there, you don't even recognize that you've tainted our path, and you trying to stunt our getting to the finish line in a sense, or getting to where we need to go. So, but the determination of Black women, I said, I can look at this and see what the truth is, but also with a different lens, I can look and see the resilience of the Black woman. And I just wanted to talk about that. Think about the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
We could easily say, I give up. I'm not doing this. Look, you talked about 1960 something to 90 something. In 30 years, we didn't get nothing. We made some good movies in 30 years, but we still trucking, we still trooping. Viola Davis getting it in. We still making moves. Even the woman on the picture, she wasn't looking like, yo, what's up? Like, I got something in front of me. She was focused. She was ready to still battle this dude with the chain on, with the thorns, with the hurdle. Like, Velma, talk to me about just how you feel when you see the Black woman out here trying to do that thing.
Well, it starts with the melanin. I'll say that. It starts with, as a Black woman, I think about the women who've come before me, my mother, and other women that I've seen. I'm around all the time. We always have challenges, we always have hurdles, but that melanin, it just gives us this drive that we want to be recognized, but at the end of the day, we realize sometimes we may not be recognized, but we have to keep going. And when we don't necessarily, if we don't feel like we have support, we know that we have to make it happen. But I don't want to say or act as if we do it alone, because you know, there is the black man.
Come on,
and
man.
so,
Give us some love, Velma.
You know, definitely.
We need love, Velma. Come on.
I know that it's not just the black woman alone. You know, definitely the black man is so important to our existence and our success.
We here, okay.
You know, so when I think about the black woman and comparing us to the white man or just any other group of people that it seems like they don't have it as hard as we do, you know, I just think about I don't know. I just think about so many different things, the little things.
A lot of, but you know, I mean, our family structure, honestly, it got destroyed in slavery.
For sure.
And that's when you had the development here in the U.S. of the matriarch. And just think about it. I'm not going to go all into the historical fact of it, but just think about our families. Think about how all of these black families, especially like in Virginia, and then you go to North Carolina in the house.
Yeah.
And further south, all of those families that really are together, they had that strong matriarchal figure that kept those family units together. And so I think that's where it comes from. I also just think that this society, it kind of forces, or it forced rather, us to kind of be divided against one another.
Right.
And if you look at
Now,
how...
I want you to continue. I want you to don't forget your thought. But when you say us, who are you saying is divided against one another? Just for the people to understand.
Black man and black woman.
And black woman. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I do. I just want to make sure they know.
And you can tell that because instead of us bonding and developing a synergy, we want to compete with one another. So you hear it on both sides. You hear a lot of successful and affluent black women that'll say, well, this man isn't on my level, right? Then you hear a lot of brothers say, well, you know, I would date a black woman, but they got an attitude and this and this and that. Instead of us appreciating the fact that we came through slavery, we came through Reconstruction, we came through Jim Crow, we came through civil rights together. We had to get here together.
Right.
We have to look at that and the fact that we need each other. And then the bad part is we diss each other based on what Eurocentric ideas taught us was what you should value in a person.
Why are we beefing? Because one is dark skinned and one is light skinned.
Yeah,